Hey guys, welcome back to Greatest Hits. This is Doc, and we're going to talk about Fantastic Four, issue number 4 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. So let's get... All right, this is another one of the greatest hits that ever came out because, like I was talking in a previous video, this is the coming of the Submariners. So you have the story of Namor. Johnny Storm finds him out on the street while he and the Thing are having a little spat. And when he finds him, he has lost his kingdom, forgotten who he is, and he looks like a hobo. So Johnny and Ben get involved. Johnny comes to find out that it is Namor, and with a little flame-on action, we do away with the beard, and now he realizes this is Namor, who was a Golden Age hero with the Invaders. He was one of the very first characters that was created for Marvel Comics. And you get to see that he's trying to help him bring his memories back. He's trying to help him remember who he is. And just like Aquaman, Namor gets more powerful when he's in the water. And so Johnny tries dropping him in the sea. And he says if he is the Submariner, the water will bring his memory back and his full powers. If not, I'll dive in and I'll save him. What I really like about this title, and I don't remember Marvel doing it before, but this is laid out in chapters. So you have different chapters, almost like a book. And in this one, he does remember, and he remembers, in his opinion, that humankind destroyed his water, his kingdom. They made it radioactive, so that he lost his kingdom. And he tells Johnny, I'm going to get revenge. I'm the mightiest living mortal on Earth, and now I'm going to show mankind what happens when you get power such as mine turned against you. So then he goes, and in one of the funnier sections here, he goes and awakens Giganto, who is this giant killer whale. And it says only one thing can arouse him, the trumpet horn. So you get these awesome action sequences from Jack Kirby, who was the man when it comes to action sequences. His characterization and his storytelling in these books is second to none. And you get this giant creature just destroying buildings. He's going to try to destroy Manhattan and New York City. And in the end, the Fantastic Four triumph like they always do. But you get more understanding now. As to me, the Fantastic Four and the Challengers of the Unknown from DC are very, very similar. They go, and it's not nearly enough for Reed Richards to find out what happens. He needs to find out the motivations of why. He needs to dig into something deeper than just surface level. So, in this sequence, in this chapter, we find Namor, and he says, well, a prize worth catching. And he instantly falls in love with Sue Storm. But Sue Storm is betrothed to Reed Richards. And so it starts this love triangle and starts Namor's anger and frustration with Reed Richards, which, goes on for years and years and years. But even though the artwork is a little crude, even though you're starting to see that he's got a better grasp on who he wants these characters to be and what he wants them to look like. I think he's pretty much got it locked in. I actually have a pretty beat-up copy of issue 13, the first appearance of the Red Ghost. And I want to say within that first year, probably after the Thing's first fight with the Hulk in issue 12, Jack visually gets everything tied in the way that he wants it to be. And then Stan Lee, by that point, has also got a really, really great understanding of who these characters are, what their motivations are. But this right here, if I had the actual book sitting right here in front of you and it was in the shape that this one is in, it would be a multi-million-dollar book. So that right there makes it one of the greatest hits, but it's also one of the foundational comics from the Marvel Silver Age, along with Spider-Man, Thor, the Avengers. It helped build the House of Ideas, as they called it. And without the success of the Fantastic Four, which we all know the story that it was pretty much Stan Lee's last hope. He said, I'm gonna write what I want, and if it doesn't sell, I'm gonna stop working in the comics industry. And even though Stan was the writer, and as a writer I have all the respect in the world for him, without these artists, he could create nothing. Prose, but without these artists, these books never would have existed, because Stan could write, but he couldn't draw them himself as well. So it's always really fun to go back and take a look at something like this. The Batman book that I picked up this week is greatest as well because of the creators that work on it. This is transitional, and it transcends the creators that worked on it, and it's the story itself that really just pops. So I hope you guys got a chance to check this book out. If you, like me, have been following it, as far as I know, they're going to do the first 12 issues month in and month out as they came out. And so that'll be cool, because then at that point, with the first 12 facsimiles, I'll have the first 13 issues of the Fantastic Four. And even though this has never been one of my greatest titles, and I'll pick it up every time they reboot it and drop off about 3 or 4 issues in, this is one of those cornerstones of the comics industry, and it just can't be overstated with that. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. I hope you got to pick this up, and if not, let me know in the comments why you didn't. Do you also not really care for the FF as characters? Or is it just that you've got so many books that you're reading as is that you don't have time to pick up any of the facsimile books? Take care, guys. We'll see you later.